All right, we're back at Beaver Creek at the Precious Metals Summit, and I was lucky enough to pull aside Will Robinson. He's VP of Exploration at West Red Lake. Will, good to see you.
Hey, good to see you again. Thanks.
So maybe I want to start things off, ask you, your team's busy drilling in West Red Lake. Maybe ask you a bit, remind me what the goal of the recent definition drilling is.
Yeah, so the definition drilling is very important. It's a critical item for de-risking the deposit and the resource ahead of the mine restart. So we've been drilling underground at Madsen since October of last year. We had one drill underground until April of this year. We added a second drill. At mid-year, we've drilled about 40,000 meters. De-risking the asset, we've been focused in areas, the Austin, the South Austin, some of the North Austin got brought into that program, and we were even back in McVeigh drilling and actually had some pretty nice results out of that part of the deposit as well.
Cool, great. Now, I'm curious, so there was a previous operator that ran into some issues with the geology there. I'm wondering, has your focus been to further define those same areas that they looked at, or have you been stepping out and trying to announce this somewhere else? Like, what's your strategy there?
Yeah, all of the above. It's actually funny you say that. In the zone that Pure Gold was mining in primarily, it was called McVeigh. It's actually one of the most structurally complex parts of the deposit. But now, in hindsight, having all of those learnings, it's actually part of the deposit we probably know the most about. And so we're not afraid of McVeigh. We know it got a nasty reputation, during those mining years from the former operator. But now, knowing what we know about McVeigh and some of the recent drill results that we put out, which were very high grade, we're going to take advantage of any opportunity that still remains there. But again, as we move deeper down into the deposit, we're seeing a lot of upside within the Austin zone. The South Austin zone, those areas of the deposit are a little bit more continuous. They're wider in places, and so that's really where we've been focusing most of the drilling recently.
So the previous operator really did a lot of the heavy lifting.
They did, yeah. There was a lot of learnings there. We retained a lot of the team that was on site during that process, and so that we have all of that knowledge base there, right, which is very beneficial to us.
Nice. I got to ask you the million-dollar question. Do you have enough information today to restart the mine? And if the answer is no, what additional information do you feel like you need?
Yes, I feel like we do have enough information today. We're still waiting on the PFS study from SRK. We're expecting that in Q4 of this year. That's really going to inform us and the market of the overall plan, and the life of mine and everything that goes into that. But we've been doing a really good job with the drill bit. We've defined approximately 70,000 ounces of in situ inventory with the definition drilling program to date. We had set ourselves a goal to try and achieve around 55,000 ounces before the end of the year, so we're well ahead of that mark. So by the end of the year, we should be in the range of 80 to 90,000 ounces of defined inventory. And so that all gives us cushion for the eventual restart, and that's really what we're trying to provide ourselves. We're de-risking, we're trying to get development now into places of the deposit that we need it to get ahead, have active headings prepped and ready to go, so that when we start mining, we can continue mining, and we don't have to take a pause and pivot or do anything like that. So to answer your question, it's like, yes, we would be ready today, but we're still taking advantage of all of this time while we have it to prepare ourselves as best as we can for the restart that should be scheduled for mid next year.
Got it. Yeah, this will give you some time. So you're in the later innings, but
yes,
build as much inventory as possible.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Now, once the mine is up and running, I'm curious what's next for you. Do you turn your attention to Rowan, or is there more than enough work left to keep the crusher fed?
Yeah, once the mine is up and running, the drills will continue to turn. We'll continue with the 2 drills underground at Madsen. We're starting to look at more exploration opportunities now in deeper portions of the mine at Madsen. So there's a lot of historic levels at Madsen that once we dewater the mine further, we're at 13 level now, but as we continue to dewater and get access to deeper portions, we can actually take a small drill rig, for example, put it out along some of those historic levels and take advantage of those as platforms for more drilling. So we can continue to de-risk the deposit ahead of the development, ahead of the mining as we work our way down. And then we have a surface drill right now turning also on site. And it's actually drilling and testing some regional targets that we put together. And so that regional work will continue as well on the Madsen property. As for Rowan, there may be some more work to do at Rowan next year, but right now we're really focusing on the permitting, the monitoring plans, the baseline studies for Rowan, so that we keep it moving forward with the advanced exploration permit.
So just curious at a high level, how does the geology of Rowan compare to Madsen?
Yeah, for sure. So Rowan, they're similar. And in the Red Lake District, you get, very high-grade gold and quartz vein type showings, which would be the Rowan example. So it's gold hosted in quartz, hosted in mafic and host rock. And then even at the Red Lake complex, you get things that kind of look like Rowan as well. The Campbell zone is an example of that. Okay. So ultra high grades, visible gold in quartz. Madsen's a little bit different. It's more of a replacement style of mineralization. But there's other areas around Madsen where we get showings as well that are more typical of that, like quartz vein style. But the main thing to take away from Rowan versus Madsen is the high grade that we see at Rowan. So right now with the current mineral resource, it's sitting at around 13 grams per ton. So it's an exceptionally higher grade, sort of future mill feed source is how we're envisioning Rowan, really.
Great, yeah, so you're starting from a good spot with the grades.
Yes, definitely. And so that's the idea, right? The model with Madsen is we have 6 to 7 gram per ton material at Madsen, which would be the meat and potatoes of the mill feed. But then we're going to have higher grade, resource areas like Rowan, and then obviously 8 zone would be another example of that we can put into the production pipeline later in the mine life and really get a boost in our production profile as a result.
Great. Now, before we leave, I just wanted to ask you maybe what your priorities are going into the new year.
Yeah, my priorities would be, just giving the site team everything that they need to be successful with the drilling programs that are, ongoing as we speak. We're trying to stay within budget, with all of those programs as well. And we're trying to make new discoveries across the property too. So, like I said, with the surface drill being on site now, we're doing some real true exploration work, some greenfield type stuff, if you will. Testing new targets. So to have a win with some of that drilling would be a huge success and a great way to close out the year.
So we should expect to see just more drill results come out as they have been for you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been putting out, approximately 2 press releases a month on the drilling at Madsen, but we're starting to get results back now for the surface drilling. So we'll have a release to put to market probably within a month or 2 on that.
Great. Yeah. Well, Will, I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for giving us some time. This is Will Robinson. He's VP of Exploration at West Red Lake. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.